morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm cycling this Let's Play Training Simulator, and this is going to be a rare entry in a series where I try to teach you something about the place for driving. We're going to go ahead and start at Portsmouth and Southsea today on this working to Woking. We're going to play this career scenario as usual, but I've gone ahead and brought up on my iPad a Google map of the surrounding area, and I'm going to try to point out different things in the area as we go by. Can I do this while stopping at every station on the route? You bet I can. Will I do it well? That remains to be seen. Anyway, I'm going to see if I can show you some stuff about this route today and about this area. And obviously we did the introduction scenario, but that's just kind of like whatever they want to tell you. I'm going to try to do what I did on the suburban Glasgow. I'm going to try to point out some landmarks. I don't know if they're actually represented in the game or not. The newer version of the route probably does have some of them represented a lot better, if at all. But I'm going to see what I can point out, see what I can recognize on the route as we go through it today. So let's go ahead and get into this working to Woking, our final of the 10 scenarios that come with the route. I'm probably going to record the Class 455 scenarios right after this. They are, after all, standard scenarios. They're not career scenarios. So I'm probably going to record them just so we have them handy and ready to go whenever I want to put them up. Because I do have a scenario pack that I want to go into that includes a Class 455. And again, they're standard scenarios too, but what I want to do is I want to introduce this 455 on this route before I go into that scenario pack. So it's basically to give me options for when to put it on my channel. And whenever I can fit the 455 scenarios in, I will do so. But they're not going to show up in the career scoring, so they're just going to appear as scenarios that are done in later iterations of my menu. And if it happens to show up on camera while I'm recording another clip, I'll just point out they're coming up. You're going to know at that point they're done. They're going to be coming up. But I'm probably going to do it right after recording this scenario in the next session, if not tonight, because it is getting to be evening now and I have to go somewhere tomorrow as I'm recording this. But let's go ahead and at least get this one done because I want to get this set of 10 burned completed because I'm sick of all these, these scenarios that can't be, properly marked with stuff here. Anyway, can't get gold stars in any of them. So let's go ahead and get this working to Woking out of the way. 90-minute scenario, also a 90-minute tour of the Portsmouth to Woking area. Let's do it. Let's have some fun. Afternoon. Allow passengers to board here before starting your journey. Done. Reverser's up. That's done. Let's bring up the HUD. Let's take a quick zoom out. You're going to notice the 2 view is obviously bad because I'm under cover here. But if we pop out of the station for just a second here, that's the cover I'm under. You can see Station Street to the north where that double-decker bus is going through this series of roads here. They did try to model these roads very well, by the way. Isambel Brunel Road is over here. That connects to the highway down there. I'll have that for you in a second. The highway is lost on my map. The A2030 is what's down there. So we're going to get back in the train. We're going to get ready to wait, or we're going to wait for our departure here. And we're going to get ourselves going in a second. Leaving Portsmouth and Southsea. You can watch and notice I'm managing the speed very carefully coming out of here because this is the only station I cannot just punch the throttle up and go while I'm talking. I actually have to go to up to 15 miles per hour and hold it at 15 miles per hour for this part of the journey. So being very, very cautious here, especially because we have a slight downhill leaving. Our next destination is Fratton, and that's our first stop today after Portsmouth and Southsea where we just started. You can see the termini platforms 3 and 4. I think it was 4A and 4B over on the left. I'll put the brake application on now. We have a green signal, so we are another brake application. Thank you. So these signals are showing that we can continue, and we are going to take a look at the top of the train. As you see, a service there or train there that's just in the sidings. It's not doing anything. We're going to have a couple roads come in along here. The Canal Walk will be to the left. Raglan Street will be to the right. You can actually see Raglan Street already. The Canal Walk is coming in right about now. So those go alongside the tracks on each side, and then they both veer away on their own course, naturally. I can go up to 25 now, and I will do so. If I can get that to stop increasing, thank you very much. We're going to get into the 40 right now so we can gain even more speed. Here we go. We're not going to gain much though. We're not going to get to 40 before we have to slow down because we're within 3/10 of a mile off Fratton. There's no reason to gain a lot of speed. So I'm just putting a small amount of speed on, and I'm putting a very light brake application on so I can have a generic slowdown, a casual generic slowdown here. And that is what we're going to work with. So I'm keeping a small brake application. I'm going to go ahead and remove it for now so I can just coast into Fratton. We have to arrive, as you can see, by 14:27. About the 25-second point of that minute is when we have to be there by. So the just coming into Fratton, I'm going to go ahead and get our stop set up here. Coming into Fratton, the A2030 passed over us, so that was the highway that went over us as we came in. Or at least a major road if it's not a highway. So I've let off the brakes again. I probably should have had the brakes on a little bit more there, but we can put our car beyond the station. We're not all going to fit in the station anyway, but I want to see if we can at least hear the sounds as the doors open. We're not going to on this one, because I was a little too late on that. It seems to be habitual. I already played this starting it a little bit once to get a feel for it. I seem to have a habit of going beyond the platform, but we have arrived at Fratton, platform 1. Leaving Fratton. Our next stop is Hilsea. You may have noticed the screenshot. I'm going to get in the habit of doing these kind of far away screenshots for this scenario because I want to show the area around the stations that I stop at, so you can see what everything is around the stations. That was a Selborne Terrace bordering the station to the north, and a nice neighborhood of roads that are all interconnected and very nicely redone actually on the map. The designer of this route did a decent job trying to at least recreate the road network, even if the assets are a little generic. At least he tried to recreate the network very nicely. So he did a good job at least representing where everything was in the game. And that's a nice little touch. So Walmer Road is going to continue along as from part of that neighborhood. Walmer Road continues to the north of us. And it curves off now as we go under a bridge. I think it's a footbridge. I don't have any record of what this bridge is. I believe up ahead is St. Mary's Road in the Kingston area. Another name, by the way, that we have in Ontario, about the 613, 15, 17 portion, 615, 617 on Highway 401 here. So that's towards Quebec. So another one of the places that is duplicated in Ontario. There's a lot of them. Every time I see one, I just know instantly where it is in my province, which is kind of funny. There are a few that I'm learning as I go, though. There's actually a place called Carlisle near Toronto, and by the way, no, it's not a major train station. So we're coming up on Hilsea right now. There's a kind of a footbridge there. I believe this is New Road that we're passing under. No comment on how new it is. We are within range of the station. I'm going to start slowing down now. I'm going to put a little bit of a larger brake application for testing purposes and see where that leaves us. We're not catching up quickly enough, so I'm going to put a little more. We have to be there by 14:31:29. We have a full minute to make this stop, so I can make a harder brake application, and I will make a harder brake application. I almost didn't respond to that. Yeah, we are going to need this harder brake application, so I am screeching, and I'm hoping we can stop in time. I'm not confident I hit the brakes quickly enough. Now again, we don't need to get the entire train in the platform, but I would like to at least hear the doors open and close. Oh, we might actually be okay with this. Okay, I'm going to let the brakes off slightly, and then I'm going to put them back on. Actually, I shouldn't have let them off at all, because I'm going to be beyond the platform anyway. But that's fine. We're crossing under Norway Street, I believe, right now. We're engines beyond again, that's fine. Doors are open at Hilsea, platform 1. I assume that was enough time. Leaving Hilsea. Our next stop is Bedhampton. We're leaving at a speed limit of 80 miles per hour. We're going to have to drop to a 50 immediately though, so I'm going to just stop at 50 right now. We're going to cross under a couple of water channels up ahead, one of which is Portsbridge Creek. I actually cut off a little early there, so we're going to let it keep going. So one of the channels ahead is Portsbridge Creek. We're also going to pass under the A27. So I'll give you an overhead view as we pass under the A27. So here comes the A27 right now. You can see it right there. That's the highway that we're now passing. And we're going over these creeks as well. There was actually another bridge. I'm not sure what that was. And there's a track that's, or something that went off in the distance. What is that? Yeah, it's another track that went off in that distance. It's a connection to the West Coastway route, I believe. I think that's the West Coastway route. Or at least we're on the West Coastway route now at the very least. So there's a connection both ways, and that was a connection to that, to the west side of that. So we're going to be passing under another major road here. If we haven't already, we would have seen the A2030 again at some point here. The lighting is doing funny things in this scenario. We are going to see the A27 again, so let's actually zoom out again and take another look at it. Because the A27 should be coming along here momentarily. You can see Bedhampton in the distance. You can see another train coming along. Let's look at that. Pause if you want to know who that was. I might have actually missed the A27. It's also the A30, so it's actually a major road, or sorry, the A3, so it's actually a really major interchange. I'm going to start slowing down a little bit now because we are getting in range of the station. I believe this is Mill Lane. So Bedhampton should be next. I don't believe there's any other places to see along the way here. We're going to get our speed is going down very nicely, actually. You can see Havant right behind Bedhampton, so there's not a lot to really talk about in between these, obviously. Short distance between these stations. And my braking power was actually really good for this. I made a good decision on that. 14:36:29 we have to arrive by. We have a whole minute. So we're actually going to probably be held at the station for a moment if we are too early. We're just going to go ahead and just keep the casual slowdown going here. We actually are going to need to increase that now, so I will do that. I started that about a mile out. We're being warned, by the way, of these lower speed limits, the 60 and then the 40. We are going to be moving on to the Portsmouth direct line proper after Havant station. So we're going to be going 40 into Havant. I'm going to go ahead and keep the brakes where they are. For now, I'm going to go ahead and actually start releasing a little bit now so we can try to coast towards the end of the station. I think we are going slow enough now. But I will go ahead and hit the brakes again now. Going to ease them off as we get to the low. Oh, actually, I need to go a little further. I will go a little further. Not that way, I'm not. I turned the throttle on by accident. Now we're going to stop. Good enough. Arrival at Bedhampton, platform 1. Thank goodness I can finally get away from this crossing. Leaving Bedhampton, our next stop is Havant. I'm going to be using a speed limit of 40 miles per hour since we are seeing that up ahead. And that is the lower of our two limits right now. We just crossed under West Street, by the way. Supposedly, there's on the map. There's another Bedhampton station, so I'm not sure if there's just a building on the other side on New Road that's actually also part of the station, but it doesn't seem to be an actual station on the track, so not 100% sure what that is. Our arrival time at Havant is in 1 minute. And we already need to start slowing down, so that tells you something. We already need to start slowing down. We're going to be crossing under Park Road North as we approach into Havant. And actually, I'm not even close yet. So this would be Park Road North right now. I'm just doing a casual drive here because we don't need to come in too fast. We do have plenty of time for these stops, I'm noticing, so I'm not worried about timing at all. We can be a little casual on this. That's why I also want to give you the tour of the area here, because I figured this is a good way to do it. I'm going to go ahead and take the brakes off so I can coast in. I'm actually going to put a little more speed on to do that. Then I will come to a stop up ahead. We can get the entire train in this platform. I am going to try to do so. If we're late, we're late. We're not going to get a perfect score anyway because it's not possible. So in reality, I really don't care. But we will see if we can get the whole train in the platform. It gives us a chance to see if there's a timing that's not good here too. And that will do. We're at the signal, so I'm going to stop right here. I think the entire train is in. Let's open the doors. Arrival at Havant. And a service coming in, which we're going to take a quick peek at. The Waterloo to Portsmouth Harbour service. So that's who's coming in. I stayed just a little bit long on that shot, you might have noticed. So you got to hear the change in the audio as we started closing the doors from above, as that train came in. I wanted to get the train coming to a stop, but I wasn't there long enough, I guess. Oh well. So we just crossed under another road here. I'm going to give you the name of that road. That was New Lane, and also Fairfield Road. I think they're the same road. We are getting up to 40 miles per hour, and I'm trying to do it gently because I don't want to speed past it. But I'm actually going to hit it anyway. I'm going to actually hit it before we get to the 50. And even then, I'm going to keep a slow increase into the 50 because we have an 85 right after that. So a slow increase. Then we'll pump it up to get to 85. We're taking the curve onto the Portsmouth direct line proper, as I said earlier. The other route was the West Coastway line. I gave you a nice shot of that branch as the intermission still there, you may have noticed. So we're going to be heading to Roland's Castle for 14:45. I'm going to start increasing speed a little more now. We should be able to. There we go. Let's go. There is a 70 up ahead, so I'm going to stop at 70. There's a number of different roads and things along the way here, but we're not going to have a major crossing of a road until we get to Barton's Road. And I'm not sure if this is Barton's Road. I'm going to stop at 70 like I said, so I'm not going to gain any more speed now. That might be Barton's Road. It might be something else. Being warned of the 70, which I've already adjusted myself for. Is actually a 65 up ahead too, so we're going to have to go down even further. I could have gotten a little speed and brought it down, but obviously I'm just doing it my way. So this road coming up, I believe, is Conley Hill. Or I think it just crossed us, in fact. Now, I'm taking a left into the station here, and I don't see Roland's Castle on my map today. I'm wondering why that is. That is very peculiar. So maybe Roland's Castle, was that station closed at some point along the way here? I don't see it on my map. I'm very curious about that. We need to slow down now, so I shall do that. Let's do that. I'm just trying to figure out where the station went. I mean, let's take a look at the map here. This is where we're going. We're making a right to get into Roland's Castle. But looking at the map, I don't see... Oh, there's the station. Okay, I guess it's not a major enough station that it showed up on the default zoom. I do see it now. We're crossing under Woodbury Lane and Bowes Hill. Connections to those. And those are the streets that are nearby here. So that's what's in this area. When we leave, we're going to be going along Finchdean Road to the right. This is a short station, so we're only going to get a few cars in once again. We're not going to get a lot of the train in the platform. So I'm just going to get the train down to a low speed so we can coast to a stop. I might actually be going too fast. Okay, that will do. Arrival at Roland's Castle. Leaving Roland's Castle, our next stop is Petersfield. We're going to be there in about 8 miles, 8 1/3 miles. So our furthest station so far. By the way, the bridge that we were on, that actually was the road that we were just talking about. That was Finchfield Road, which is now, Finchdean Road, I should say, which is heading to the north on our right side right now. And I'm not sure, but that might have been Dean Lane. I'm not 100% sure. But I can certainly tell you another connection that comes up here in a moment. .75 is our speed limit coming up here. So our track is taking a curve right now to the left. We're going to have to slow down for the 60 in a moment. I'm just keeping the throttle very, very gentle here. Thank you. That's a warning for the 60. So we're eventually going to cross under... Actually, up here is going to be where Dean Lane is. Maybe there were 2 crossings. I don't know. But this is probably coming up around where Dean Lane is. And there's going to be an interesting connection of roads here. Dean Lane and Treadwheel Road both meet at a road that I have literally no name for. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up the connection. As you can see, they actually just split off right there. So I don't have a name for the road on the right. I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. In fact, the left one, I don't think I have a name either. So your guess is as good as mine as to what these roads are. So I've gone down to 60 well in advance. Eventually we're going to make a series of curves. When we get to that series of curves, we're going to be around New Barn Lane. And you're going to probably be able to see that road showing up on the left because it's very, very close to the track. It will show up and that will just immediately leave as it's doing its own curve. Okay, I'm going to put a little throttle back on to get ourselves closer to 60 again. Our ETA is 14:55. We're angling to be late right now according to the ETA, but I never trust that. I should say our arrival time is due at 14:55. So I should probably phrase that a little better. We are on uphill. That's another reason why I'm putting some power on right now, because there's not much we can do if we don't do anything with power. We're just going to slow down. So this may be a bridge leading into the area that I just spoke of. I forgot to bring up the tab for that service. I apologize. So that road's probably going to branch off. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. That is indeed branching off into what is going to be New Barn Lane coming up to our side. I'm going to kind of leave this up for a moment so I can show you the topography, because that's exactly what I want to show you in this particular run. There's that road to the right, again, I don't have a name for. Let's look at the building to our left here. You can see there's some industry here. Back to the overhead view, you can see New Barn Lane, or did I say New Barn? Was that right? New Barn Lane is now going to curve to meet us, and it will eventually head off on its own. Here's where it comes really close to the track up ahead here. There it is. You can see it very nicely, and then it curves off. So that tells me exactly where I am on the map right now. And being able to recognize points like that is a good way to know exactly where you are if you're trying to use something as a landmark. That could be a bit of a landmark for you as to where on the map you're located if you're trying to figure out where something is. It's helpful when you're a passenger too, actually. Not just when you're driving trains in this game, but it's useful as a passenger to have that kind of a skill to identify something. We're in a bit of a bare expanse of space right now, so there's not really anything in this area. We have a 40 coming up for a tunnel, so I'm going to go ahead and lower for that. Since we're on uphill, it's doing some of the work for me. I'm going to have to finish the job, though. I'm not sure if that's an old station building or what that is on that side. So just for more information, this tunnel goes under South Downs Way. We're not going to see South Downs Way because it's while we're in the tunnel. So it's going to be above us. We won't have any idea where it is. I'm going to need a break just a wee bit more. I knew I was going to have to finish the job, but I got closer than I thought on that, to be honest with you. Did better than I expected. We're going to actually hit a downhill, so I'm going to have to put a brake on probably now. Just a wee break to make sure we stay under 40 when we get in here. I don't actually have the name of this tunnel on hand. This is not on Google Maps, and I'm using Google Maps as my guide today. So I don't actually have the name for this tunnel. I should not have accelerated there. That was a bad move. But we did manage to keep it under 40, so that's what I wanted to do. So South Downs Way is probably over us right about now. In fact, if I do an overhead view, I can't. I'm not allowed to. Not allowed! So we're out of that tunnel now. Let's do the overhead view now. Yeah, you can't really see anything. They didn't really model up there, and I don't blame them for that. Whistleboard coming up. So there's some kind of a foot crossing here. As our train leaves the tunnel, we can now move ourselves back up to 70 and eventually up to 85. So we're going to go ahead and take advantage of the ability to do that. We're gaining time on our Petersfield stop. That is the good news. We're going to be there in about 2 miles. We're going to eventually be passing under Kiln Lane. That is the next road I believe we're going to see. Slow down the throttle for a moment because we're getting a little too high now. That up ahead is Kiln Lane. I'm just going to do a gentle increase at this time. can see the next station, Petersfield, is in the distance here. As usual, I'll give you a view from well above so you can see some of the topography of the area. I'm making that a theme of this scenario, I've decided. Literally just decided that as I was playing. Did I miss a road here? I might have missed a road here. We were passing under Greenway Lane with a connection to the A3. I might have missed that connection. We're also crossing under the B2, or actually going over the B2070, it looks like. I need more brakes. I heavily need more brakes. So as we come into Petersfield, we are bypassing I can't even say that word. Frenchman's Road. Frenchman's Road. Sideways road names are hard, ladies and gentlemen. So we should be able to bring our train all the way into this platform, it looks like. So I'm going to try to do that. As we head into Petersfield, we're going to have Station Road for Petersfield up ahead. A lot of cities have their own Station Road. So it's just a common name because it tells you where the station is. Hence why it's called Station Road. I'm going to ease it off again. Should be able to stop it before the end of the platform at this point. Of course we get a crossing alert. Thank you. Let's stop and get out of this quickly. Arrival at Petersfield. Leaving Petersfield, our next stop, Liss, is in 3.5 miles, passing under or above Station Road. We're also going to cross under Tilmore Road. We're going to reach a bit of a countryside area at this point. And an alert for a 50 up ahead, which is good because I was just going to get up to 50. So I can... And it's getting close enough, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it there. I don't see a reason to accelerate further at this time. We are already slated to be early, and that's usually off anyway, so it's going to be even earlier. So as we continue on, we are going to bypass the Tilmore Brook. And we're going to have another road that we go over or under with that as well. Let's actually take a look from overhead if we can. That's probably Tilmore Road right there, actually. Yeah, I could have used the speed coming in, but I lost a few seconds. Big deal. Or, you know, you can't get a perfect score. It's the habit of this route for some reason. So I believe this is where the brook is located right here. So taking a look from overhead. Oh, a service coming. You can pause and see that was a Woking to Fratton. So let's look overhead now as that train goes by. It doesn't really show you very well, but I believe this is where the brook is located. Either that or it's a random footbridge. I hate this slow 50 area, by the way. I'm getting annoyed by the lighting on this route, by the way. So, Kingsfurnsden Lane is going to be a road that we eventually pass under up here. You're going to find me when I get to the next bridge taking another look from overhead because I want to make sure I am in the right area here. As I say that, we are going to, if I am, we're going to be passing under the A272, which is a split highway not long after. And Liss is actually in the general area here as well. And I actually can't find that on the map right now. That's promising. So looking from overhead, yeah, I'm not 100% sure what we're looking at here, so I will eventually catch up with you. And where I am. Maybe I actually went beyond, or maybe I fell too far back. I don't know. So this being a slow 50 area, not much we can do right now. Oh, a car just went through us. Well, he's dead. So I'm going to put a little speed on, then I'm going to have to brake. Like now. Now, I believe Liss was a city that uses a lot of Canadian names, which is nice because we use a lot of British names in Ontario. So, fair's fair, right? There's probably a Vancouver, a Toronto, or something like that here. I haven't actually looked it up. But if I were to visit the UK, Liss is a place I'm probably going to want to visit so I can say, oh, that's in Vancouver, or that's in whatever. I'm going to have to really have those brakes down. I'm going to miss the platform here on the engine. So we'll deal with that presently. But I also need to make sure I know where I am in the map so I can tell you what's in the area. I'm going to get you a nice overhead shot like I have been so far. But I need to confirm where I am before I continue. So I'll let you know in a second where we are. Train, meanwhile, is stopping at the end of the platform as planned. We are at Liss, and passengers may now board. Leaving Liss, our next stop is Liphook in about 4.5 miles. And I've caught up to where I am on the map now. I actually was a little further back my map than I actually was located. The road you saw in the screenshot was the was the B3006. It turned into Station Road for Liss, and then it turns into Mill Road as it goes off to our side here. So that is actually Mill Road over on the far right at this time, and a couple of roundabouts at the end of roads here. So that's what you see here. We're going into an 85 mile per hour section. I'm watching my speed for the time being until we actually get into that 85. Mill Road will eventually become Forest Road. We are going to pass either under or over it as we end what I believe is a little bit of a right turn here into it. Or it might even be a level crossing, I'm not sure. Either way, we end our right turn and we cross Forest Road in some way. We know we've crossed Forest Road, by the way, when we can go 85 now. Let's speed up here if I can. That's down. So that's it. We actually have already crossed Forest Road because that is Mint Road over to our left right now. That is Mint Road. We'll be crossing Duckmead Lane as well. And Warren Road. At some point as we get to Langley, we're gonna be in a bit of an open field area again as we get to Langley. So that's gonna be what we cross by in a moment. We're eventually going to take a left to continue along another section here, and that will eventually take us into Liphook. I think I had a little lag there. That was unfortunate. See, I think this is Langley right here. We are now about 2 miles from Liphook. Our arrival time is slated for 15:08. That's 3:08. We're a minute early right now, so we could actually slow down if we want to a little bit. But since the station is in sight, I'm going to go ahead and do so. We're going to be crossing the B2070. That is the only major road we're going to cross on our way into the last stretch into Liphook. So that will be the major crossing we take here. I'm not 100% sure where that is. Actually, this might be it right here because I see what looks like a bridge. We're taking a left turn. So yeah, that's it right here. I might have hit the brakes just a little early. I'm noticing that now. So I've taken the brakes off. I'm going to go ahead and start braking again now for the stop. We're now at a good pace for slowing down, so I will accept that. We're going to have a bit of a wait at Liphook because we are so early. I mean, it's our timetable. We're following our timetable. It's not that we did anything out of the ordinary here. We just drove the speed limit on the track. So I'm going to increase the brake application now as we come into Liphook because it is a small station. So I want to get down to 20 as we enter the platform if possible. I got pretty close to that, not bad. I got close to that number. And I'm going to actually keep the brakes on because we need to slow down before we reach the end of the platform. If I left the brakes on if I took the brakes off just a little bit there as we entered, I might have actually overshot the platform. So now I should be able to hold it. Going to hit the brakes a little bit again. And we're coming up on Midhurst Road straight ahead, by the way. That's Midhurst Road in front of us. Let's hit stop now. We have arrived at Liphook Station. Leaving Liphook, our next stop is Haslemere. Conveniently enough, the next road we're going to cross under is actually called Haslemere Road, but we're not going to be at Haslemere for about 3.5, 3 3/4 miles or so. We don't need to speed necessarily to get to Haslemere because we actually are a minute early once again. So we're not going to worry too much about being at the speed limit. We can be a little bit under the speed limit and give ourselves that little security that we're not going to, break the rules. So I believe this curve takes us, yeah, there's Haslemere Road right there. So I'm going to ease off the throttle right now. Now, why am I easing off the throttle instead of taking advantage of being early? Well, if we end up pulling into the station a minute early, we have to wait that much longer in order to actually leave for our scheduled departure time. So there's no reason for us to arrive super early. We might as well just get there when we get there. Take our time a little bit. However, if you end up running late, you still have to sit for the entire passenger boarding process. You can't just skip the station. You have to take your late go. We're going to be crossing Shottermill Road and Stutt Road, I believe, or Sturt Road, as the next two roads here. One of them appears to be a level crossing. That is an alert for... Is that a signal? That's a double yellow. That's apparently a flashing double yellow. The signal box was not lit up. That means we have a flashing double yellow and a junction signal. So we're going to be having a junction before we get to Haslemere. I'm going to slow down because we have Haslemere in the distance anyway. So a nice light brake application. As we pull into Haslemere, there's going to be one more road we cross. That is actually going to be a road that is going to be way a hill as it becomes the B2131. I did not mean to bring that up. That is the itinerary to show you where we are. Might as well take a look and see what's left while I have it up. That's what we have left. So I've been slowing down a little bit early. I probably should not have done that because we are gaining time. But you know what? It's time we don't have to wait, so I'm not going to complain. We have a 30 coming up anyway, so I kind of need to slow down anyway. You'd think I knew that. But I'm a little early slowing down. Right there was the warning for the 30, in fact. You can see the roads network around Haslemere here. Going with the theme of giving you overhead shots as we go here. So by taking our time, we're going to arrive probably right on time here. And I'm not upset about that. That's okay. I want to do that. We have a whole minute to make this stop. But I'm going to go ahead and stop slowing down now. In fact, I could have increased there a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and just coast into the station. I'm going to try to maintain 20 as we coast into the station. So we'll do that right now. That was the junction we needed to follow that the flashing yellows did not appear for. You can see that there is a train over there, the Haslemere to Plymouth service, waiting to get underway as we pull into Haslemere Platform 3. We'll go ahead and start slowing down a little more now. We do have the whole platform here, so I don't need to do a major brake application here. Actually, I take that back. It's not really having an effect, so I'm going to go ahead and do a major brake application. I might not get the last car in. I might have been a little too casual to get the entire train into the platform. So the last car is not quite in, and I'm going to have to accept that, I believe. But we are literally right at the time that we need to arrive. And you know what? I can get the last car in. I'm going to risk it. I'm going to do it. Let's get the last car in. Not quite going to count, but I'll take it. Arrival at Haslemere, Platform 3. leaving Haslemere. Our next stop is Godalming. I'm going to watch the throttle as I increase here because this is a 30 speed limit area that we're working in right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and take my time coming out of here. We're going to be 2 minutes early anyway, so I'm not going to rush it. Let's just stay at the 30 for right now. And we will, that 15 applied to the siding, by the way, not to us. So we can still go at 30. So we're still gonna get close to the speed limit. We have lots of time to make the stop up ahead, so I'm not worried about the timing at all. Once we hit the 85, we'll get ourselves up to speed. We'll go. This is Tanner Lane. You probably saw this on the overhead shot. Tanner Lane. In this, it actually splits into Church Road going north and Bridge Road going southeast, I should say. Tanner Lane continues in both directions. Those roads just branch off from it, so it's a little bit of an interesting neighborhood area here. And I believe this is also Church Lane. I don't know if it's the same Church Lane or a different Church Lane, but it is Church Lane. We're going to be crossing a couple of creeks in the countryside area up ahead here. I do not have the name of those creeks, unfortunately, or the names. And there's also a road we're going to cross. I don't have a name of a couple roads. I don't have the name of those couple of roads, but they connect to the A286. So these could be potential train spotting spots if you want to look for a certain kind of train going by. We're reaching our speed limit. We're actually on a downhill, so I'm going to actually try to manage my brakes for this downhill right now, because I will need to try to maintain speed. 81 should be a good speed. We won't lose too much time. We'll still have lots of time to make our stop. That is the objective. We have, by the way, 7 miles to go till Godalming, so we're probably not going to see a lot of things here. I'm watching for a left turn, which will serve as a landmark for where I am at that point. But like I said, I don't have any name for this road. I have a feeling, though, this may be where I am on my own map, though. Not 100% sure. No, it isn't. Never mind. We're still catching up to where I am, apparently. Here's the service coming along, by the way. Waterloo to Portsmouth Harbour. We have another whistle. Or whistle board, rather. I have the whistle. This may be Greysmouth Road coming up. Actually, no, this is a crossing before the turn I was looking for. So the turn will probably take us to Greysmouth Road. Okay, take a quick look at the overhead map as we come to that. And I'm actually not getting anything on that yet, so I'll wait till we see the bridge. We're going to be passing Whitley at some point along this road, by the way. We're not actually going to stop at Whitley. One of the few stations we're not stopping at is Whitley, which I find very interesting. Looking at the overhead again. Nope, no landmark yet. This is actually Whitley right here, so apparently I missed the road I was looking for. We're going to be going under Petworth Road right after Whitley. So since I can't give you an overhead shot of Whitley, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the overhead map so you can see the area around Whitley, and that's what we have. And this is Petmouth Road. We're slowly losing time because we were going at slower speeds, so I'm going to bring in the train back up to 85 right now. And we're going to be going through a bit of a water-laden area here. We're also going to be dropping to a speed limit of 80 miles per hour at some point very shortly. So we're going to be going through a water-laden area, and there's not a lot to really bring up until we get to Milford. Once we get to Milford, we're going to cross Station Lane at Milford. again, we're not stopping at Milford. For whatever reason, it's not part of this service. We are under 80 now, and we're going to have a 60 coming up, so we're going to have to lower our speed even further. In a train that gets up to speed so easily, it can be a little challenging to maintain the speed, because you can't just put the throttle to a certain spot and know it's going to maintain the speed for a certain time. It gets up there fast. So you have to be very, very careful with the speed on this particular train. I don't know if the newer version of the 450 does that, or also the Armstrong Powerhouse version, which I think shares the 350 pack. That was Station Road, by the way. This is Milford Station that I was referring to. So I don't know if the other trains do that or not, but we're going to find out. Godalming is coming up. It is not too far away. As you see, it's 1.7 miles away. I got an alerter. And that's for the 60 mile per hour speed restriction up ahead. As we come into Godalming, we're going to go ahead and have a highway coming up to our... well, not a highway, but a major road, the A3100. It's also Portsmouth Road. So it's going to come along to our left as we go along here. We might even have it next to us already. Yeah, there it comes right here. That's the road right there coming along. We're going to cross New Way as well. So we're going to cross both roads in some way. And then soon after that, we should have Godalming. New Way actually continues to the west of Godalming as well. Okay, let's go ahead and do some more slowdown here. You notice Farncombe coming up in the distance. It's not too far away, so I'm going to try to accurately cover this area. There's the Cuju steeple in the distance again. All praise the Cuju steeple. Praise! I was waiting for a chorus there. He didn't give it to me. There's a train waiting here, the Woking to Fratton service. And I'm coming in slightly fast, so I'm going to go ahead and leave the brake application where it is, because we need to slow down a little bit. Actually, you know what? I have a lot of platform. I'm going to ease it off a little bit. Longer platform than I thought it would go down. I should have known that, actually. Why I didn't predict that, I don't know. Now, I remember in a previous scenario that the timing for Farncombe was not very good. I predict that's going to be the case here as well. I predict we're going to have a bad timing for Farncombe. Bringing up the HUD, or the timings. Actually, no, 15:27 might be okay. That might do it. I think we only had 1 minute before, and now we have 2 minutes. I have the time to stop properly, so I'm going to stop properly. And I'm going to show you an overhead shot of Station Way and New Way on either side of the station. That's what we're going to see. I went slightly past, so we're not going to hear the doors open. But we have arrived at Godalming. Actually, we did hear the doors. There you go. Leaving Godalming, our next stop is Farncombe. We have 2 minutes to get there. You're going to be surprised by this, but that steeple actually does not represent a church, and I have no idea what it represents. But we're about to go under Westbrook Road. I was able to give you 2 shots of this one, and Westbrook Road is right underneath of us right now. I'm not going to gain too much speed because Farncombe is right there, and we actually have extra time to get there compared to the previous time, which was badly timed. So I'm going to go ahead and just casually get through here. And we also are going to go by Borough Road in some way as well. Whether it be over or under, I don't know. But Borough Road And the, I can't believe I'm saying this on YouTube, the Hell Ditch. That's actually what it's called. Do not censor me. Thank you. So this is Borough Road. Going to give you an overhead shot as we come through here. Chalk Road is coming up along here as well. In fact, this, I guess the ditch is not really represented very well here. So this is Chalk Road, I believe, right here. Or at least a foot crossing for it. I don't know exactly. Deanery Road comes up alongside the station as well. I need to slow down. I've not been slowing down, so I'm going to put a large brake application on it this time. So I got through this area pretty quickly, actually. I didn't expect to be that quick. There is another station road next to Farncombe here. The Farncombe Cricket Club is actually not far from the station. I'll see if I can get you a shot from the Farncombe Cricket Club area. We're not going to get the whole train in here, so we're going to do what we can here. We're going to open the doors here. This is arrival at Farncombe Station. Leaving Farncombe, our next stop is Guildford. We're going to be crossing Bourne Road. We're leaving a speed limit of 70 miles per hour as we leave. We're going to be crossing under another major roadway as we come along here as well. That major roadway, by the cricket club, is to our south, but it's not very well modeled here. There's some houses and stuff, and the road isn't actually very well done either because you seem to have it go through some places. But the B3000, the major road, the B3000, also called New Pond Road, is going over us, or we're going through it, or something like that on this part of the journey. We're also going to have a connection with Old Portsmouth Road, the A3100. That road is going to cross us once that we're going to see. Not this one, I don't believe. It's going to be another one coming up. This is the first of the two roads I mentioned. So we're going to eventually see the A3100 cross us. We're going to go through a small tunnel, and then we're going to actually see the... as we go into the next tunnel, the 3100 is going to cross us a second time. I'll show you that as we enter the tunnel. The more important thing for me will be that I'm going to have to lower for a 25 mile per hour speed limit at the end of that tunnel. That is the challenging aspect of this part of the journey. Now, apparently I did not get up to speed very quickly because I have been losing a lot of time. You can do this and still have a 1522 ETA, so I've been losing a lot of time. I'm going to have to push this one. Here is the 3100 that I mentioned earlier. You can tell it by the distinctive curve if you're looking at it on the map. So you know that's a landmark in this case. That's just a footbridge. And that is apparently a fenced area off there. Yeah, something over there. Oh, don't speed. We're entering a 75 right now. I almost sped into it. So we're going to bring the speed down somewhat right now as we come to the 50. I'm going to try to do it at a gentle enough pace that... Oh, we gained time. Okay, we gained some time. Maybe it was just a change when a train leaves or something that you suddenly have the extra time. Not 100% sure. We're going to try to get the speed down quickly because we need to. We've got 7/10 of a mile to do it, and I don't think we're going to do it that quickly. Meanwhile, you can see some kind of road crossing over. Don't know what that is. A footbridge, I guess. There's the A3100 crossing over for the second time as we enter the tunnel. I'm down to 25 a little early this time. Okay. A little early. Very early. I'm going to actually push a little more speed and bring it back down. I may regret doing this. Okay, let's bring it back down now. That'll have to do until we get in the station. So as we leave the tunnel into this 25-mile-per-hour speed limit, it's a junction speed, by the way, because that's why I see a 50 as we enter the station. That's why we can't just go 50 into the station. Would be nice if we could have done that. Would have been better planning for our slowing down. We could have probably slowed down normally to get to 25 by this point anyway. We would have had just slowed down slightly earlier, but I saw a speed limit change, so I panicked. We're crossing under Farncombe Road right now. And I'm going to go ahead and put the brakes on for a stop. We should get the full train into this station, so there's no reason we should not be able to do that. Unless I come in too slowly, of course. Or if I overshoot, of course, you know. Three cars left. Let's bring the speed down a little more because of that. 2 cars left. And that'll be a little easier now. Let's hit the brakes now. That should do the job. The last car might not get in. I'm trying to squeeze it in. I think I've got it far enough. So we're going to stop right there, right there. Maybe I overshot just slightly. Let's see. Nope. Arrival at Guildford, perfectly in the station. Let's take a look up the map. Leaving Guildford, our next stop is Worplesdon. I'm going to show you the map very quickly to show you what track layout we're going into. You're going to notice that the tracks we have coming up right here, they go in different directions. You notice the little bit of a track setup around here too, which is very interesting. I don't know what this is. But in any case, you can see one track goes over here, ends at a roundabout all the way up here. The other one, when you go back to where we are, let's center on us, goes over to here, and then enters this major network. Just a mishmash of tracks here. So we're not going to worry about any of that. I know one of the stations on that set is called Ash. I know that because it was an easy name to remember. Ash Station. So if you're a fan of Pokemon, especially the anime, you want to go that way. Why I gave that a rim shot, I have no idea. We're going over a couple major roads here as well. Let's cut our speed for a moment because we're going to have to get to the 85. So we're coming to a couple major roads. I can speed up now. So the A3 we're going to cross over. It's not the first time we've seen the A3, but we're going to see the A25 before that coming up. So, like I said, major network of mishmash of roads here. You can see they tried to model entrance and exit ramps as well. It's actually kind of cute. So that's what we have here. And again, that's not where the tracks are that we saw on the map here. That was a big group of tracks in here. I'm going to have to look that up another time when I'm in the area because that's very curious. Anyway, back to our cab view. That road we passed under, by the way, was Stoughton Road, in case you want to know that one. We're going to be going over Saltbox Road in a moment. Not this one, but a different one. Once we get to Saltbox Road, I think we're going to want to look into slowing down at that point. They're being generous. They're giving us a whole minute for the timing again, so not bad at all. I'm going to hold off on the speed here. So this, I think, was Saltbox Road right here. There it is. You can see a bit of a water area next to that. I didn't check the name of that, unfortunately, so I apologize. We're going to start slowing down now because we do need to slow down for the station. slowing down much at all. Let's put more power on that. Hopefully without hitting emergency brake. I've already stopped the recording in one section or more. I won't say how many because of an emergency brake accidentally being applied when the brake somehow went to 100. It's a bug in the game when you go to 100% brakes. The scoring thinks you're in emergency brake status even though you're not. It could be solved by making the emergency brake something like 101, but I guess there's no way to really do that without because it's still 100% brakes, but it's a more enhanced version of the brakes. So it's too bad you can't just put it in like 101% brakes for emergency. You can't access it without hitting backspace. It's too bad that doesn't work. That would be an interesting possible fix for that. Don't know how well it would work, but it would be an interesting idea to fix it. But so many trains would need to be modified that it would just not make financial sense for DTG or anyone else to do that. So we just have to live with broken trains. It would be an idea, though. It would be an idea to avoid the emergency brake bug. Even on Sherman, where you have a train that has a notch to get to emergency brake. By the way, I didn't mention the diagonal road was Burdenshot Road a little further back. So we did cross under Burdenshot Road coming into Worplesdon, sorry. Slow down a little bit more because we have lots of time for this stop. Okay, we're just going to coast in now a little bit. So when I go to the overhead map view, I'm going to be looking towards Pray Heath Road. We're going to be going over Pray Heath Road, and we're going to also see the Hoe Stream. Yes, it's called the Hoe Stream. Don't ask. I don't make up these names. And since I don't want to be censored on YouTube, I'm going to stop saying the name of that stream now. You cannot make me say it again. Well, there, I slowed down nicely for that. Let's go ahead and open the doors here. I think I'm still on the platform. Yes, I am. And the last car is not quite in. We'll deal with it. Arrival at Worplesdon. We have one more stop to go. Leaving Worplesdon, we have one last stop. Let's not muck it up. Let's finish her up. Woking is our final stop, and the railway technically continues all the way to Waterloo, but we have to pretty much stop at Woking. We don't have any other options. The other version of the route, we would be able to continue to Waterloo, but this is a long drive already, and I'm surprised if I don't know how many people do Waterloo to Portsmouth in one run. With a lot of stops on it, but trust me, it takes a while making all these stops. You know when I started this scenario, look at what time it is now. I think that's already about 70, 80 minutes, maybe even already over 90, I don't know. So you have a couple more, I'm going to watch for this 40 coming up. We have a couple more roads coming up. Hawk Hill Lane, before that is Saunders Lane. We're going, I think, under both of them. Yeah, we're going under both of them. I actually do need to get a little speed on before this for you, just to make sure I don't lose my ability to be on time. Okay, we're going to have to work with that. We have an uphill, so I'm just going to let that slow me down. I'm a little early anyway. We're going to see Blackbridge Road. That's the road we're going to go over, so you may not actually get a good eyesight of it. I'll try to give you a look at it. Oop, that was an alert. Caught it in time. That was for the double yellow signal. You can see Woking is coming up. And that's the road I mentioned we're going to go over right there. That's it. We're going to also be going under Wyke Hill Lane. W-Y-C-H Hill Lane. We're going to get down to 40 right now, and I'm not going to go above 40 again for the rest of this journey. I need to get down there quickly. Woking is in the distance here. That's an alert for a single yellow signal. We're going to be joining another railway, a major line coming in. I don't have the information on what stations are on that road in front of me right now because I'm looking at a different map. But you can see one of the trains on that map. The signal protecting Woking, I believe that was still a single yellow back there. So single protecting Woking is technically a red signal right now. I'm going to actually slow down just to be safe. But based on the timing, I think it's going to be yellow when we reach it. So I'm down to 20 right now. I'm going to work with that. If I look at the distance, I do have a yellow. It's now a double yellow, so there was a train at Woking in front of me. That's what we were seeing. So I'm going to go back up to 30 to pull into the station. Yep, this is double yellow signal. Thank you very much. This train coming in looks like a freight train. I'm not going to try to translate that. That refers to the sidings, I'm sure. Ooh, hello. Is that a 37? That's a 37. So we're pulling into Woking right now. We're crossing over Victoria Way as we pull into Woking, by the way. So that was just before the station. And one more landmark I'll give you is going to be, if I can find one, is going to be after the station. I don't know if I'm going to find it, though. Nope, I don't really have any landmarks. I can tell you that Maybury Road goes alongside the station coming in our direction as a one-way road, and to the other end of the station is Oriental Road. That's to the south. As you can see, our maximum score for this scenario is 750 points. I'm going to try to get the entire train in the station, which should not be too hard. I'm almost at the end of it. I may be slightly late, though. That is a possibility. I think the Class 37... Yeah, there goes the Class 37. So we'll just take a look down the track to the ahead of us as we finish the scenario. Instead of looking at the train itself, we'll look at the track. So we are finished the scenario. Let's get the doors open. And that is that. So I hope you liked my covering the geography of the area as I went today. There are, again, a number of roads in this area. I'm not going to name them all, but I told you the two on each side of the station. Those are the ones I'm worried about. The one is a little further to the right here than the one on the left. And you can see another nice neighborhood along that one on the right, too. A road branching off there. Another one in the with a roundabout over there on the far left. So, yeah, these are nicely modeled areas. They tried to get all the roads on the map. And some of them are constructed better than others, like roundabouts just don't look the best. But they did a good job putting the neighborhoods on the map. I will give them credit for that. This is something that they get credit where credit is due. So we're going to go ahead and allow the station stop to be fully processed. After it completes, we're going to be done. And as you may be aware, I said already, the track ahead goes into nothingness. It turns into an unseen read area, and you hit a buffer at the end if you were to continue. So a scenario will start on that side, but you're not going to actually drive that way unless there's an emergency brake to keep you from hitting the buffer as the scenario ends. I don't know. In any case, journey complete. Another driver will relieve you for the remainder of the journey to London Waterloo, which is what I said. We can't do the rest of it. If we had the other route as the route we were playing, we would be able to continue to London Waterloo, and I'd be going crazy by now because that was already a long journey. In any case, well done on a timely trip. And that is it. Let's go to the scoring screen, shall we? And there we are. So, yeah, like you saw again, we got our silver star. That's really all we can do here. And I think 750 is actually the silver star on this. I think that actually is the score for the silver star because that looks like it's 3/4 of the way up the meters. So if you were 1 point short, you would get a bronze. Gotta love the bad scoring processes. That looks like 500, 750, 850, or 900 for the gold. And just a lot of them you can't get 900. So, yeah. I'm going to be very happy going to the Class 455 stairs because I can do them without having to worry about meeting timings or having not perfect scores because there is no scoring. So I'm going to probably go ahead, after I finish cutting this video, I'm going to probably go ahead and record the 455 scenarios. I don't think you're going to see them yet because I already have other content recorded that I want to show you, and I really am eager to get on the channel. But I had to find a way to introduce Steam to the channel, and this seemed a good way to do it. I know I indicated in another video when I went into the tutorial, and I might not broadcast that one, but I went into a tutorial series for the Steam engines that really only gave me 1 or 2 driving spots, so I'm not really going to try to worry about... I might not show that broadcast, just like the other tutorials. But I know I did record the initial video from West Somerset Way. West Somerset Railway. You would have seen that one by now. I'm only showing you that one for now. I'm not doing the rest of West Somerset Railway right now, obviously. But I showed you that one, and I needed that as an introduction to Steam. So I'm going to use this. So you got to see the first actual Steam scenario here, and I'm pushing this route out. Let's just say earlier than planned. This series of scenarios earlier than planned. I'm going to go ahead and record the 455s, and once the 455s are recorded, I'm going to go ahead and put them in the pipeline for future publication, because I do want to get those out. I still want to do the London Brighton pack that includes a 455 in it. Actually, multiple 455s in it. Just one is better than the other in some cases. And I want to start showing off custom content like that, because in fact the South London to Brighton scenario pack I have my eyes on. I'm gonna have to do South London Network at some point, so I can say that I've introduced that route. Then I'll have the merged route of the whole thing. I can show you the whole map and how it looks and what the connections are, and then we'll be able to do that scenario pack. That pack has 442s. It has the FCC version 377, so we will be doing that one on London to Brighton as well. It has a scenario or two there. I'm going to probably run I might come back and run the steam engines for the Flying Scotsman on there. I also have one for the Great Western Main Line I need to put in as well. Yeah, I've got lots of options on routes I've already done at this point without even going to new content, but I also need to get to all the new content, the routes that you have not seen yet, because my goal is to show off as many unique DLC as I can. Not just custom content, but as many unique DLC as I can, whether they be routes or locos. So we are going to be moving into different routes and locos, and I'm going to be trying to merge back and get to this other stuff, but I also have to get it in a certain fashion so I can then introduce it in custom content, upgrade the stuff that is the original into upgrade versions, like with the Armstrong Powerhouse Enhancement Pack on the 377, for example. I'll be able to use upgrade versions of locomotives on these routes, and that's on these custom content, and that is the eventual goal. I have to try to at least tape all the content, even if I don't broadcast it right away. And then even if I save one or two of those for later, I can then show you the custom content and then come back to the other official locos already recorded. I'll be making a note whether I have the any enhancements installed or not at the time that I'm actually playing the scenario. And I'll make a note of that so you know what it is. So if I show something with enhancements at an earlier time, you're going to know later on that I'm not playing with enhancements at that time. So you will know that. I will be careful with that. In the meantime, make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're done with Portsmouth Direct Line for the current broadcast series. We are going to come back. We are going to introduce the 455, and I am going to do a separate series for the 444 on this route as well, because at some point we're going to have both of those trains and the 450 in a separate scenario series on the new route. And once I get to the new route, the gloves are off. We're showing off custom content on that route with upgrade trains and everything. So once I get that far, we're going to go ahead and do all that. But I got a lot to do on this route before I can get to that. Come back for it and everything else I'm going to be broadcasting. In the meantime, have a wonderful day, evening, or night. You can also support my work on Patreon and join the Discord server as well. So have a wonderful day, afternoon, or night. I'm Cyclone. Wherever you are, I hope to have you back. And I hope you enjoyed this look at the old Portsmouth Direct Line for now in these two sessions that we did on it. I'll see you next time for more Let's Play Train Simulator. Bye-bye.